welcome back to the Jerry Alicea Show. I'm Jerry Alicea. It's a pleasure to have you joining me again, as always. And this is our second show of the topic that we've been discussing. Presentation is everything. And this is a show where we're going to explore some of the many facets of what it is to be a good presenter. In our first show, our introductory show, before I even start, let me do a few shout-outs, first of all. Let me say hello to my friends back in New York, Leona Hayward Hull, who is the director of the the Theater Artists Creative Consultancy, which is a company that she's developed, and she's working with senior citizens and doing theater productions. They're doing a production called A Twisted Christmas Carol, and I want to wish them all the best of luck. They're applying for funding, and I hope they get that. So Leona and John Russell Graves, dear friend, I've known these guys forever, and they're in the theater, and they're doing this production together. I want to say hi to them. Of course, my friend Kurt Fawcett back in New York, musical director Kurt Fawcett, who's doing amazing things with his choral ensemble there in Brooklyn. Hello, Kurt. How are you guys over there? Thanks for joining me on YouTube here. And then, oh my God, there's so many people. And then last but not least, my friend Rick, who's over at the Orange County Health Clinic. He's a receptionist, a fabulous young man, a very intelligent young man. And he's in college, and he's going for his degrees, and I wish him the best of luck. He's a very smart, wonderful young man. Anyway, presentation. Here's the deal on presentation. I said our first show, Shakespeare said it best. All the world is the stage, and all of the people merely players. We are all players. We play different masks for every room that we're in. Here's an example of that. When you're with your grandmother or your parents, you're going to talk a certain way. You're going to act a certain way. You're going to present a certain way, depending on the situation. When you're with your friends, you're going to act a very different way as well, because there's a comfort factor there, and you're going to present differently. Wherever we are, we have a way of presenting ourselves, and we are perceived by that presentation. The world around us, don't forget that we as human beings are judgmental creatures. We judge the book by the cover. However the cover looks at the moment, that's how we are perceived. My classic example, I said this I think in the first show, if you take someone from the neighborhood, you go down to the projects, you pick the slimiest guy there, his hair all undone and the pants down by his butt and shoes undone and just looking real raggedy. You can take that very same person, do the hairstyling thing, shave them up, put them in really nice clothes, a little shirt and tie and good color scheme, and put their behind on Wall Street. They would be accepted. Why? Because they are presenting in the proper fashion for that venue, for that stage that we're in. Had he gone downtown looking the way he looked originally, people would be sidestepping, I don't want to deal with this guy. But the fact that he's presenting properly means that he's going to be accepted in that arena. And thus, the whole concept of presenting. How we present is how we are perceived. Don't forget, we are judgmental creatures. We judge the book by the cover. So, the trick here is to always give a really good cover. Don't go to a job interview or somewhere where you're supposed to look proper, looking improper, because people are going to go, wait a minute, even if they don't do it consciously, subconsciously they're going to evaluate you and judge you, because we judge the book by the cover. So, first trick is get the cover right. Look at the color scheme of your clothing, dress nice, keep the body nice and trim, don't get obese, don't be eating all that chocolate candy and stuff for holiday, okay? No, it's not good. Present properly. Then on top of that, if you get away from verbal crutches, if you're able to speak fluently, as I'm doing with you right now, I don't go ums and uhs and these are called verbal crutches. Once you become aware of them, once you consciously make an effort to become aware of these verbal crutches, you're going to start to eliminate them. Awareness is a mother. Once you're aware of something, the brain goes, well, wait a minute, I'm aware of something that I wasn't aware of before. Let me stop doing it. If you ever get a chance to join a group like Toastmasters, for example. Toastmasters has a great way of teaching people. It depends on the club. Some clubs will ring a bell when they hear you go, and you become aware. It's like Pavlov's dogs. You start hearing the bell, you start associating that, that with the bell, and you start becoming more aware of it. These are things you can practice. Have someone help you. Ask one of your friends. Every time you hear me say or like point it out to me. The more you become conscious of what you're doing, the more you're going to be able to fix it. Okay? The other thing is body language. We speak two languages simultaneously. We speak verbal and nonverbal. We have verbal and nonverbal communication. Our body, especially the face, right here, this in theater, in the acting world, this is the instrument. This is what we use as actors to convey sadness, or happiness or angry. You know, all these muscles create the visuals that we use in life, and that's how we communicate. You know, it goes hand in hand. I'm really angry at you. I'm so angry. I hate you right now. Oh yes, I want to kill you. My face isn't saying that, is it? No, no. I am really, really happy right now. Oh my God, I'm so happy I can't stand myself. Doesn't sink in, right? Well, if you learn to use the facials properly, and how do actors do that? We spend many hours in front of a mirror, looking at ourselves in the mirror, or using a camera to record ourselves and see ourselves in playback. You know, you never know what you look like until you see yourself, and you don't know what you sound like until you hear yourself. A good way of practicing that now is recording yourself. Record what you look like. You know, talk to the camera and play it back and see what the world sees when you speak to them. That's how you become more and more aware. It's a great tool, really, a great tool. It teaches you what it is that you are being perceived by in the world around you. So, eye contact, another thing. People, these are the windows to the soul. We communicate with our eyes when we talk to each other. Those people who can't do that, who get nervous and shy away and don't want to look at you in the eyes, you know, that creates a subconscious question mark in the receiver's mind. You're not communicating with me because we're not keeping that eye contact. And it's something that you have to practice. People become nervous when they have to look at each other's eyes. And it's an important factor. Factor that in. Become more aware of how your eyes are communicating and how your facial expressions are going hand in hand with what you're saying and how we're able to choreograph our body movements. I just did the thing with the arms. You know, too often we're very expressive and we talk with our hands and, you know, and that becomes very, very, very distracting. Get out of that habit. If anything, learn to control the body movements. You see it all the time with the guys on the news. Right now on the weather map, we see the low front, and then the hand goes to the pocket, the other hand's over here. As they do their wrap-up, they'll stand to the stage, and they'll maybe bring their hands here, and maybe a few little gestures, you know. But learn how to use the body language, how we position our hands, how we choreograph ourselves to present in a more cohesive and professional manner. These are tricks of the trade. This is what presentation is all about in many instances, becoming more and more aware of how we're dressing, how we're looking, how we're using body language, how we're using eye contact, and speech. Another factor to become more and more aware of is vocabulary. How am I using the words to communicate what's in here, through here, to your ear? Okay? We oftentimes hear lazy people, and I call them lazy for lack of a better term. Who you is, who you be, what that is. It's not an ethnic thing. To me, I don't consider it ethnic, and please forgive me if I come across as being prejudiced. I'm not. What I am prejudiced of is stupidity. And to me, using that kind of language is just plain laziness. The reality is you're not blending in with the norms of society, and therefore will be judged accordingly. If you want to move up in the world, learn how to use words and vocabulary and speak like the rest of the world does. Don't try and create your own private little world and how you're going to present yourself. It doesn't work. It does not work. Stop doing it. So, in review, eye contact, body language, proper dress code, all these factors blended in together will make you a better presenter. And it takes practice. You can't do it overnight. You've got to actually practice these things. So, take what we've learned today, think about it. If nothing else, think about it. Next time out, I want to talk about neuroassociative conditioning. How does the brain work? How do we learn? How do we actually use the tools of focus? How do we focus and drive ourselves to our goals? It starts by making a decision. Tony Robbins talks about this all the time in his Personal Power program, and I do suggest Personal Power. I think it's a great program, and Tony Robbins is an amazing motivator and teacher who does teach us. And I've, over the years, done it many, many times, and I've actually gotten the curriculum for it, and I've actually taught this course of study, and it does make a difference. It does work for people. So, again, we're going to talk about neuroassociative conditioning and how the world is perceived in our head and how we assimilate things, how we use the brain to focus and become better at making our decisions work for us step by step by step, taking it easy, little one step at a time. steps toward achieving our goals. Okay, that's our show for the day. I don't want to make it long. I want to keep these nice and short because the attention span of the human being is about that small right there, that small. And we have to kind of cram a lot of stuff in a very short amount of time. So with that in mind, I'm going to leave you with what we've talked about today. And I invite you to keep watching our YouTube channel, The Jerry Alicea Show. And you'll see other elements that we put on the air. Jean-Luc Henry, my favorite little puppet guy. He's our resident psychologist, psychiatrist, and proctologist. He's a counselor for people who need to get their heads out of their ass. Did I say it on the air? You can say it on the air now, can't you? Ass. Yes, we can. Okay, so watch our YouTube channel and see Dr. Jean-Luc Henry. We're going to have other puppet characters eventually come on and do other little things, little performances and things. Fun stuff. So please do tune in. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell whoever you want to tell. But do join us here on the YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Jerry Alicea. Thank you for your time this time. Until next time, don't forget, be good to yourselves and to each other. Ciao. Bye.
Crikey, don't get too close. This message could bite you.